Good day. Welcome to session 4. Congratulations on getting to session 4. Because you tell me by you being here that you're serious about being productive in a changing world. This is a little different than your typical productivity course. Yes, you can use some basics, but I'm giving you my insights on how I work incredibly fast. We're going to talk about content distribution and collaboration. Always going to draw you to 7-Eleven-4 and Key Person of Influence book, along with the 5 Ps. Because if you implement this model, you'll be so productive because you'll get ahead of the trends. And when you get ahead of something, then you even work more strategically because you're not playing catch up. You're not on the busy bus. You're not distracted. You're flying with purpose. Get on that purpose plane as quickly as you can. The world is changing, and it's changing so fast that we got to get ready. We got to get the right mindset of productivity. And we talk about content distribution and collaboration. I'm going to draw you to the 5th P, which is partnerships. That's your collaboration, and we'll talk more about it. The content piece is thinking globally. You have to have a global mindset for you to get ahead of the 6 trends. We've shared with you on previous sessions, digital revolution, entrepreneurial, AI, crypto led by Bitcoin, mobile, and personal development. Those 6 trends are happening now. If you learn how to use AI, you learn why it's important to create digital assets and your digital profile. Because I meet you today, I'm going to use number 5, which is mobile. I'm going to look you up. I'm going to see what the world says about you. And if I don't see enough to continue the journey stops with that. You have to keep the journey going. That's being productive. Creating content allows you to give your ideal prospect, give them a way to learn more about you. When you do that, you're getting close to the 7 hours. 7-Eleven-4 is 7 hours of consumption of you, but you got to create it. You can't just put one video out there and it's an hour long. Okay, that's 1 hour out of 7. And it's hit or miss because you're not on 4 different platforms. So you have to be thinking globally and thinking, give your ideal prospect a way to continue the journey. Create content like we're doing right here. Create podcasts. Create things. We're born to create, not consume. Yes, we want people to consume you, but that's because you're taking them on a journey. It's okay to be consuming if that's part of your journey. But if it's a veg out for 4 hours a day on TV or scrolling 3 hours of social media, that's not the consumption you want. You want to be creating your life. The magic is in you and anything's possible. It starts with you creating enough content that you give people an opportunity to get to know you, like you, and trust you. Because we're in the entrepreneurial revolution. You don't have to buy a factory now to get in business. You don't have to buy a business, a franchise to be in business. Is it easy? No. That's why we talk about you got to be aware of generating leads, of creating cash flow and building thriving communities. It's about community. It's about working as a team. There's no such thing, or there's a myth to the solo entrepreneur. No, it's not solo. Yeah, if you want to go out of business, yes, it is solo. But you want to be thinking globally. So you duplicate yourself. You create the content. Once this is created, I don't create it again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I create it once. I get it broken up by my team into smaller videos. I put it on different platforms. Maybe it's Substack. Maybe it's LinkedIn. Maybe it's YouTube, Facebook. Those are 4 different platforms right there. Give your ideal prospect a way to get to know you, like, and trust you. And if you're in that mindset of content and you know how to distribute it, we use StreamYard. We'll put a link on that. It's the easiest, best way to do your podcasting, to create content, and to be able to collaborate with your team. Because I don't do certain things. What I do is what I can't outsource. I can't outsource my coaching. I am the certified high performance coach. I can't outsource me. If I'm working on my podcasting, which I am, I can't outsource me. Now, I train people to learn how to be a good podcaster. We have Podcasting Academy. We want people that are interested in pursuing a avenue of generating leads, creating cash flow, and building thriving communities. However, they have to raise their hand and say, I'm interested. That's a buying signal. When I say, if I meet you and they say, what do you do, Pete? I generate leads, I create cash flow, and I build thriving communities. I stop right there. If the person doesn't say, tell me more, how do you generate leads? I don't say anything. I want them to be interested in knowing more, not me throwing up on them in a metaphorical way. Everything I know about what I do, which 99% of the people could care less. They got their life. They don't need you throwing all this information at them that they can't process anyway. And they're rolling their eyes in their mind, get me out of here. Because you got to build curiosity. You got to be interested to be interesting. Ask people about themselves. After that, if you don't say anything, I'm going to say, so tell me what you do and what are you excited about working on right now? That's a little bit of get to know you. I'm trying to get to know people to see if there is some collaboration, because we're talking about content, distribution, and collaboration. I look for people to collaborate with. That's my purpose when I'm out in a networking event. I go to very few, to tell you the truth. I don't have to be everywhere. I just have to be somewhere. And somewhere is where you need to be. Somewhere could be you creating content, you collaborating, not going out trying to sell people your product or service. People don't like to be sold. They like to sell themselves. And if you're trying to sell people, you got it all backwards. Be interested. Be interesting. Only give them a little bit. And if they're interested, they'll raise their hand. Tell me more. A book like Key Person of Influence, which I recommend you get, is a way I get to know Daniel Priestley. The way I got to know his 5 Ps, his formula of 7-11-4. It's why I create so much content. People generally today This is May 1st, 2025. You're not aware that you do have to create more content. YouTube is blowing up in a good way. There's a lot of content on there. You can't put 2 or 3, 4 videos out there and expect anybody to see them because it's not enough. You have to have a content strategy. You have to block off on your calendar times that you create the content, what you're creating. Spend time thinking through your strategy, and you can do it off your Google Calendar. You can do it off of StreamYard. You can do it off of our 11th. We have a master class, and the bonus in there is the outsourcing piece. I only do things that I can't have other people to do. Think. I think for hours. I was just at a Rotary, and I sat next to a gentleman. We were talking. Come to find out, he believes in meditation. And I went, holy mackerel. I've not talked to anybody that said that. It's like crazy. That's how I have gone from 6.5 hours of sleep to 7.5 hours meditation. I meditate in the morning. I meditate in the evening. So when you think about productivity, you got to protect this thing. You got to get your sleep. You got to get your sleep. And your ability to calm this thing down and to meditate will allow you to be more productive, will allow you to get the more quality out of your day. So you don't have to be everywhere. You just have to be somewhere. And somewhere can be starting a habit of meditation, starting to think. I get up, immediately watch Growth Day, the 5 to Thrive. Let me just give you the access to a free 7-day trial. And I have Brenda Bouchard, the most successful coach, motivator, content creator on the planet. And I absorb his teaching. I take a related video from somebody inside of Growth Day. Sometimes it's Brendan, sometimes it's others. I answered 2 thought-provoking questions. I score myself. I set my checklist for the day, and that's it. So I spend, let's say, 30 minutes. Then get my cup of coffee, and I think. Quiet. I think. After I've had a good hour of thinking, I journal. During that thinking, I'm meditating. I am calming down the brain to the point I'm ready to get that foundation for the day. And at the end of the day, how I've gone from 6.5 to 7.5 hours sleep is I meditate. I practice meditation. 10 minutes maybe, but it calms down my brain. I'm like a baby. And that can help you. When you get a good night's rest, you're more productive. Jeff Bezos said one time, and I don't know where I read it, he gets 8 hours of sleep to make one quality decision a day. I would say he's done pretty well. Elon Musk does 5-minute meetings instead of 1 hour plus meetings. I'd say he's done pretty well. Look at your successful people. Success leaves clues. There's plenty of content out there. If you're going to consume content, consume the right content to grow this. Allow yourself some time to grow. I do it in Growth Day. I do it on YouTube. I do it in sources, audiobooks. I do it to feed my brain, not entertain my brain. There's a big difference. Is entertainment important? Sure. Because you got to have some fun. 4 hours of entertainment No, that's what you call no direction. When you have a big vision for yourself, you're not going to waste time that way. You won't scroll 3 hours of social media. You will get to your day. You will think. You will journal. You will plan. You will implement. You will implement meditation. End of the day, so you calm the brain down and get into a deep sleep. I'm dreaming more than I've dreamed in my life. Crazy. Vivid dreams. Good dreams. So I must be putting some good things in. I don't watch horror movies. I protect the brain. I protect what I put in. Trash in, trash out. If I listen to the news, negativity is going to come out. Maybe I'm not up on every news article out there, but I feel if it's important, I'll hear about it. So I don't have to know everything that's going on. Generally, I'm aware. I do listen to a couple, what I call valuable resources to give me what I need. I don't need to read 8 things about one topic. I don't need to be consuming negative news. I read the other day, the big networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, 92% of the content that they put out there, negative towards our president. Negative. I wonder why people are smashing things and going haywire, because they're only hearing negative things. You got to work on yourself. You got to be aware of what you're putting into this brain. We all know the power of our brain. What we put in comes out. Put in negative, it's no wonder you have a lot of crazy people saying bad things about Trump and Musk. I mean, the guy's, he's Einstein of our generation. And you might think he's an evil person. He's doing more good than any person on this planet to change, to make abundant, to allow people opportunity like you and me. And you have people smashing his cars and smashing the toy cars and throwing bombs at dealerships. Come on, give me a break. Work on this. Put good things into your mind. Work on something productive. You don't need to destroy. You need to create. And creating content will put joy in your heart, because we're born to create. Create a hobby. Create something you enjoy, but create. Move from consumption to creating. And if you do some consumption, which is okay, good things, challenging things, learning. Podcasting for me is my curiosity muscle getting worked. I build a relationship. I get curious. I learn. I ask people what I want to ask them based on their answers. So I get an absolute wonderful conversation with my podcast guests. So if you're curious, if you just find yourself to be a curious person, go to petekane.me/PA. That's our podcast academy. We give you a free course because I want to see who can potentially be a podcaster. Got to understand it. Just like my guest, I have a fair amount of people say, I'm scared. I don't think I can do that. Okay, you were scared when you rode a bike and you fell off and you skinned your knees, but you got back on it. You didn't say, I'll never be able to ride a bike again. No, you learned and you got back on it. First podcast you do, are you going to be nervous? Maybe, probably, possibly. But the first thing you do in anything is natural. But after you do it, you go, man, that was fun. And that's learning. Learning is fun. Stepping out of our comfort zone is fun. It helps us to grow. So when we have our collaboration, and our communities. Substack is part of what we do. So Substack will allow you to exercise your writing and your video content distribution. So you want to be able to distribute and you want to think globally. This allows you to think globally because of the way the platform is structured. You can build thriving communities locally and globally. You can capture an email so you have some engagement possibilities. When you're on other platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn and all those other ones, you don't get an email. You're renting their platform, but if you don't get those emails, you can just rent. Why not own? Now, give value for the emails. People will unsubscribe if you don't give them value, but you can start the journey with them. And you can monetize it because you got to figure out the generating of cash flow. We do that and we do our magazine. It's a collaborative effort, but it's building communities of 20 people. We take your podcast story, we turn it into a physical story. We coach you through a 12-week transformation. So you're masterminding with 20 people on a common, this is key. The person on the cover is the person that puts the group together. So you know and like and trust these people. You're selecting these people. And when you select these people, you're putting a common community together. And it might be the first intentional community that you put together. Let me get a drink of water here. I'm just finishing my Rotary, ate a big breakfast. And whenever I have breakfast on Thursday, I got to drink a little bit more because I have a full breakfast. I usually don't. So anyway, back to the community, back to the magazine. 20 people. And if this is something that you want to pursue, you want to be a key person of influence, you want to have a mastermind team, you want to be on the cover, you want to organize your team, select 20 people out of your 36 that we teach you how to do. These are people you do business with. These are 12 categories that you select, and then you find 3 in each category. You select 20 of them, then you go on a 12-week transformation where I coach you or a high-performance coach, certified high-performance coach. We take you through. Let me see if I can give this. I just realized that I don't have it up here. Look how quickly. I coach you on your high-performance focal points. That's week 1. Then I coach you or high-performance coach on clarity, then energy, then courage, then productivity, then influence. Then we do physiology mastery, psychology mastery, productivity mastery, persuasion mastery, pursuit mastery, then finally the commitment to a life of learning at a high performance level. It's a difference, big difference, if I might say, to all my coaches out there. Everybody has their system. Brendan is the best. He's the best in the business. Maybe it's biased, maybe it's not, but 20 years of coaching the highest people, and you're charging $1 million, and you have the largest growth community in Growth Day, and it's a couple 100,000 people, 192 countries. I'd say you're pretty good. And he certifies me, and I'm going through certification next week, recertification every year, and I work on it every day, and I work on it every month, and I work on it constantly to get the best I can, delivering the value through this framework. So if this is something you're interested in, you can go to the pkane.me/magazine. But I'm going to give you a gift, and the gift is the gift that'll keep on learning, keep on giving. It's our masterclass. This is 12 steps plus our bonus for you to learn and grow, to scale yourself, because you're the magic and anything's possible, and to also learn how to scale your business. You get that for free. So if you want to connect with us, feel free to go to petekane.me/connect with us. We'll help you grow your community. We'll help you grow yourself and take advantage of the 7-day, having Brendan speak to you for 7 days. The 5 to Thrive will change you. When you change, you never go back. You just grow. You expand. Expand your thinking, expand your dreaming, expand your vision, expand your ability to make an impact. So be bold, make an impact, and have fun. And I will see you in the next, and the final one is reflection, optimization, and scaling impact. And I'll be with you in the next section. If you have any questions, you can hit us at support@petekane.me or drop a comment in the section. If this is something that you think somebody you love can benefit from it, share it with them. Thank you so much. Be bold. Make